Welcome to the Under the Covers channel. I'm Francesca, and today we're taking a trip to Alaska with romance books. Are you ready to travel with me? These are the perfect books if you love the idea of small town charm, rugged heroes, and a bit of fish out of water moments, where the city girl is definitely not prepared for the Alaskan wilderness. So if that sounds like something you would want to read, then I've got you covered. These books are going to make you want to curl up with a blanket, pretend that you're snowed in at home, and just dream about falling in love with a broody pilot or a grumpy small town guy with a heart of gold. Are you ready? Let's get into it. The first book that I want to talk about is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I feel like this is a classic Alaska book. If you have not read this one, you absolutely have to. It's a contemporary romance. It's actually a series. There are 4 books in the series, but if you wanted to just read it as a standalone, technically you could, but I do encourage you to try out the whole series. Again, I consider these classic romance books set in Alaska, so this is a must read if you're going to pick up one book from this list. The heroine is Kala, and she is a city girl. She lives in Toronto, and she's been estranged from her father, who lives in Alaska, for many years. So her mother had actually left her father when she was young, and they moved away from Alaska because actually of the fact that her father wanted to stay there. And now, many years later, she now gets a call that her father is sick, and she has to travel to Alaska to basically be with him, spend time, and kind of take care of him as well, while he is dealing with this disease. And when she gets there, it's total shock, of course, because she's a city girl and she's not all about that rugged life, but she tries to make the best of it, of course, reconnecting also with her father and reestablishing that relationship and trying to figure out how that fits in with her life and what she knows about what happened between her father and her mother. But at the same time, of course, we have a romance, and that is between Kala and Jonah, who is this Alaskan pilot. He's super grumpy, super gruff, and immediately he judges her, maybe correctly, that she would not make it at all in the wilderness of Alaska. But slowly but surely they develop this relationship as well. And they have to also grapple with the fact that she's going to leave, and there is no way that he's going to leave Alaska, so he's going to stay. This is a perfect opposites attract slow burn romance. And if you love grumpy heroes especially, you're going to love Jonah. The next book is Northern Lights by Nora Roberts. This is a romantic suspense novel by the wonderful Nora Roberts. So it's another classic, I would say. This is actually an older book. I think it was released in 2005, and it recently got a new cover and a little bit of a makeover. This is set in the town of Lunacy, Alaska, which is a small middle of nowhere town where it's basically dark half the year. And here we meet our hero Nate, who is a cop that was working in Baltimore, but he now takes a job as the chief of police of this very small town with the aim basically of escaping his past, especially the night where he lost his partner. Now he's only expecting a very quiet life here in the middle of nowhere, but then he meets Meg. Now Meg is a bush pilot, so yes, we do have another pilot, but this one is a female pilot. She is super independent, she's sassy, she's tough as nails, and she definitely does not want anything serious in a relationship. But of course, this is a Nora Roberts book, and there is a little bit of murder mystery in it as well. So Nate, as the chief of police of the town, finds a connection between some current threats that are happening and an old unsolved case in the town. So not only is he going after this romance with the rebel Meg, he is also trying to catch a killer. So if you like some badass females, but a hero that also needs to do a little bit of healing before he can find love, then this is the perfect romance for you. Now, this one was also already adapted into a movie. I was not able to find where you could actually stream it, but there is a movie called Northern Lights, and it is available to purchase the DVD, but it used to be on Prime Video. So I'm not sure if it's coming back, but it was made into a Lifetime movie. The next book is Dead of Winter by Rebecca Zanetti. So this one is an actual new release, and it is also set in a remote area of Alaska where we meet our hero Brock, who's an ex-Navy SEAL, and he's been living off the grid, kind of trying to outrun his secrets. Now, he doesn't want to get involved in anything, but then an FBI agent, Ophelia, comes in, and she's basically investigating this mysterious string of deaths, including Brock's old guardian. So now suddenly he's in the middle of something pretty big, big. Ophelia is actually just there to do her job, not fall for the grumpy ex-military hero. But they actually end up stuck together in a snowstorm, and all of that intensity, the danger, the suspense, everything bubbles up to the surface and things get quite heated. If you want a town that's full of secrets, lots of intense high-stakes action, then this is going to be the one for you. Next up is Falling for Alaska by Belle Calhoun. This is our sweet small town romance, and it is an enemies to lovers as well. So we have our hero Xavier, who is a former pro football player, and now he never planned to come back to Moose Falls, but then his grandma needs help with running the cider business, so he is back temporarily. On the other hand, True, our heroine, never left the town. She's been running the family restaurant for years, and she's not at all happy that Xavier has just waltzed into the town, basically acting like he owns everything, especially when he actually has control of the tavern that she was hoping to buy. Sparks are flying between these two right away, except at first they're not so friendly, but as they bicker more and more, all of that tension that builds up turns into something more. This is great if you want some small town banter and a hero that has to prove that he's more than just an ex-athlete. And then the last one is Heart on a Leash by Alana Martin. This is another cute small town romance, but also it is quite spicy. Don't let the cover fool you. And think of this one as like a Romeo and Juliet, because there are two feuding families in this town. We also have some rescue huskies, as the cover would tell you, and lots of small town Alaskan charm. So Taylor has spent years trying to escape the family's basically ridiculous long-standing feud with the Porters, but then she has to come back to her hometown in Alaska to help her sister, and she finds herself immediately tangled up with Josh, who is a vet and is a Porter, so definitely off limits. Now, Josh didn't really grow up in the town. He doesn't really get that much the feud that's happening, except he does know that Taylor is the enemy, at least technically. But she is too funny, his dogs love her, and so the more time they spend together, the harder becomes to pretend like they don't have something real. Now this one has lots of small town antics, and especially because the dogs play a matchmaking role as well. So I think you're gonna love this one. And there you have it. These are 5 books that are guaranteed to transport you to the wilderness of Alaska without actually having to deal with the sub-zero temperatures, the moose on their highways, or, you know, the outhouses. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I talked about in this video, or if you have any other romance books set in Alaska that you've read and loved. I even have a few more books on the blog that you can check out, so I'll be sure to leave that link in the description box down below if you need even more recommendations. So which one are you going to pick up first? As a reminder, you can always find more recommendations on the blog at underthecoversbookblog.com, and be sure that you're subscribed to our free Substack. That way you get all of the latest content from us, as well as a weekly wrap-up with all of the content that we post across all of our platforms, so you don't miss a thing. And be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so that you are the first to know when we post a new video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!